What a fantastic boxing card. Turki Al-Sheikh is really making the best fights happen, and this card was no exception. It had everything. The highs of Terence "Bud" Crawford becoming a four-weight division champion, and the terrible lows of rising prospect Jared Anderson getting squashed like a bug under the shoe of a giant, which unfortunately is kind of what happened. Let's talk about it. Heavyweight Jared Anderson, once named by Tyson Fury as the heir to my throne, suffers brutal KO defeat after being dropped 3 times by Martin Bakole. Bakole and Anderson fought in a huge heavyweight clash at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, with the winner looking to throw their name into the world title mix. British heavyweight Tyson Fury had named Anderson as the heir to his heavyweight throne, with the American taking on the biggest test of his career since his rise to stardom. But it was Anderson who fell to an astonishing defeat, as he was dropped 3 times before the contest was halted in a devastating KO loss to Bakole in the 5th. The fight began as the sluggers both looked to establish control of center ring, with Bakole keen to drag his rival into a dogfight. And that went exactly to plan, as the Congolese power hitter floored the American with a huge right hand after a neat flurry, which left Big Baby on his back. Anderson was saved by the bell, but it was the first time in his career that he had been down, and he was forced to grit down on the gum shield in the corner. Continued at a ferocious pace, with both fighters leaving absolutely nothing to chance, with some heavy shots hitting the target, particularly of young talent Anderson. It was a tough start for the prodigy who traded with Bakole in the simply thrilling early stages, with Anderson trying to stay with his rival, and he started to get more success with a chopping uppercut in the 3rd. Both men continued to slug it out in the 4th, with Anderson dragged into a brutal shootout which saw his lip bloodied as some heavy shots crashed beyond the guard. Bakole made another astonishing breakthrough in the 5th as he unloaded another barrage which sent Anderson to the canvas for a 2nd time. He continued his onslaught, and Big Baby went down for a 3rd time, and he looked out on his feet, but he rose for a final hurrah. But Bakole piled on the pressure with more booming shots, and the referee had seen enough. The American was simply unable to deal with the ferocious power and was not throwing anything back, which saw the young star stopped and handed his first loss. It was a truly remarkable upset, with Bakole blasting him out in dominant fashion to put the division on notice. Speaking after the fight, Bakole said, "I came here to work. This is what I do for my people in Congo. This is what I do for Scotland. I'm here to take over. I want to be number 1. Nobody wants to fight me. But with His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh, I can get any fight I want." Anderson now faces a huge turnaround mission to get his career back on track, as he now will need a rebuild to regain momentum in the early stages of his time in the professional ranks. Despite the crushing defeat, which I actually predicted beforehand, Anderson did a lot of things well in there against the big man. He seemed to have faster feet and faster hands, and he landed some good shots on Bakole. This loss could either make him stronger or make him quit, and I'm not sure which path Anderson will take. However, I still think he is a talent, but he will need to train much harder and develop his power if he wants to have a chance against the big boys like Fury, Joshua, and Usyk. I would like to see him improve his defense instead of solely relying on his reflexes, and use more lateral movement when dealing with bigger, stronger fighters in the future. Andy Ruiz and Jarrell Miller had a lot on the line when they stepped into the ring in Los Angeles to square off on Saturday. Both men were seen as having underachieved since 2019, and neither man was getting any younger. Yet both fighters were also excellent, hard-hitting combatants. If they truly meant business on Saturday, they might well have given the fans at the BMO Stadium and at home, watching on pay-per-view, a real show. And that they did. The bout was scheduled for 12 rounds. The first round was a slow affair until the end, when each man began to fire in earnest at the other. Ruiz may have gotten the better of his man, but it was a close chapter nonetheless. Ruiz outlanded Miller in the second, but it was Miller who landed the cleanest shot, a right to Ruiz's head. With that in mind, Ruiz once again outpunched Miller in the third. Miller, however, did get to Ruiz's body during the round. Miller continued to work the body well in the fourth, but Ruiz was still able to put his hand speed and combinations to good use. Miller won the fifth, perhaps his first such win of the night. His body shots were clearly leaving an impact on Ruiz, and he even seemed to rattle Ruiz with a head shot at the bell. Miller continued to work on his man in the sixth. Ruiz was still firing punches, but he looked drained. Ruiz didn't perform badly in the seventh, but his punches had no juice, where Miller's did. Ruiz had a better eighth, but Miller came alive in the final seconds. Ruiz outlanded Miller in the ninth, but Miller landed well towards the round's end. Miller threw more in the 10th and was likely able to take the round because of that fact. A shoe shine at the end of the 11th allowed Miller to seemingly take the round. Miller then went on to dominate the 12th and final round. The judges ruled the fight majority draw. Asterisk on a side note, Ruiz showed the cameras a clearly damaged hand after the fight had ended. I'm not sure what to really make of Gerald Miller's spirited effort because, from rounds 1 to round 4, I felt Andy Ruiz was clearly winning, and round 5 was where Andy Ruiz's broken hand started to really hinder him, leading to Miller doing better than he may have otherwise done. Although I think Miller edged this fight in the later rounds, he still does not look like the world beater he says he is. A fully recovered Andy Ruiz still beats Miller in my view. However, I give credit to Gerald Miller for finally putting some effort into his performance and taking his career seriously. Rayo Valenzuela upset the odds when he took on favorite Isaac Pitbull Cruz in a thrilling split decision win for Rayo. Jose Rayo Valenzuela beat Isaac Pitbull Cruz to take the WBA super lightweight title today, a big upset to crown a new title holder at 140 pounds. Valenzuela, 14-2-9 KO, won a split decision, taking two cards of 116, 112, with the third judge scoring the fight 115, 113 for Cruz. It's a massive career boost for Rayo, obviously, as not only does he win his first world title in his first fight at 140 pounds, but he did so against a fighter who has steadily gained in popularity over the last couple of years, in the final undercard bout of a major show. "I'm speechless," Valenzuela said. "Dream come true. I was 100% sure I did enough to win. I just had to be smart. I didn't get desperate. I didn't fall into the pressure. I stayed calm." His power was nothing crazy, but it was good. He was solid. I felt like I was in control the whole time. Asked if he wanted a rematch, Cruz said, "For sure. I'd like to lay it on the line and officially request a rematch." Fans watching seem to favor the work of Valenzuela. Terence Crawford wins highly strategic battle with Israel Madrimov to become a four-weight world champion with a win over Israel Madrimov on Saturday, outpointing the Uzbek in Los Angeles. Many of the rounds were closely contested, but the American's experience told in the later frames, securing him scorecards of 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113. From the opening bell, it was evident that both men left no stone unturned in training camp, as both men looked in tip-top condition. Madrimov looked very big and muscular on fight night, and it was obvious that he was very physically strong. Terence Crawford looked just as conditioned, but nowhere near as muscular and not much bigger than at the weigh-ins, which suggests that he may be reaching the limit as to how far he can go up in weight. He did not rehydrate much bigger, or perhaps could not get any bigger, which poses a problem for him if he is to get a fight against Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has been as far as 175 pounds with no issues at all, whereas Crawford would probably really struggle to make 168 pounds. The fight, however, was extremely competitive, with both men not wanting to initiate contact first in fear of getting countered. From a technical aspect, Crawford, 41-0-31 KOs, was tested more in this fight than any other since turning professional in 2008. However, the styles did not gel. There was some sporadic booing from the crowd, and clean, effective punching came only in cameos. Israel was a tough competitor, acknowledged Crawford during his post-fight interview with DAZN. He's real strong, he's durable, and he takes a lot of good shots. He had fast feet and good rhythm upstairs. He was looking to counter me just like I was looking to counter him. He was very disciplined, patient, and he fought a good fight. Almost immediately, Crawford elected to box out of the southpaw stance in round 1. Madrimov looked loose and confident in the early going, although feints and head movement were a lot more frequent than punches. Renowned for his patience, Bud used the ring and refused to be tempted into making a mistake. Almost every round of the fight was difficult to score, though it was tempting to favor Crawford because he threw more shots. Regardless, Madrimov never looked out of his depth at any time, and his stock will have risen in defeat. There were many predicting that this would be a mismatch, and it was far from it. Neither fighter was down, and neither fighter was seriously hurt. Madrimov landed his best shot of the fight in round 9 when he nailed the American with a whipping left hook. However, Crawford returned the favor in the penultimate round when he blasted home a terrific left uppercut that visibly stunned the champion. The final round was the entire fight in microcosm, close and difficult to score. The drive for a fight between Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez remains. Turki Alalshik was banging the drum throughout the night, telling DAZN that an offer would be made to the Mexican superstar for a February date and that he should accept it. Do we see that fight? Is the risk worth the reward for Canelo, who would be putting his Hall of Fame legacy on the line against a talented but far smaller opponent? If the money is right, we got a fight, said Crawford with a smile. He's got a fight that he's got to win against Edgar Berlanga in September, and I'm going home to my family. I want to enjoy all my accomplishments in the sport of boxing. If that one doesn't happen, the other piece of history for Crawford to chase is triple undisputed. If Bud could consolidate all the belts at 154 pounds, then he would be the first three-weight undisputed champion since Henry Armstrong. With that said, Homicide Hank held 3 championships, featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight, simultaneously. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video, because if you didn't, it might have got really ugly for you. But since you did, I really appreciate that. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Backchat TV Sports. Do it now, I ain't got all day.